Yo, picture this. You're chilling at home watching cartoons, and boom, the TV cuts out. Next thing you know, there's a breaking news alert saying the world's ending. Not from some asteroid or nuclear war, but from a virus that turns people into super intelligent, lightning-fast monsters in under 2 minutes. And here's the crazy part. This little girl watches her entire family get ripped apart right in front of her eyes. What happens next? She survives for 10 years in a world where humans are basically extinct. This movie goes absolutely insane, and trust me, you're not ready for where this story takes us. So the film kicks off in what seems like a totally normal day. Little Abigail's sitting comfortably in her living room, glued to the TV, watching her favourite cartoons. Everything's chill, until it's not. The screen glitches out, and suddenly an emergency broadcast slams onto the screen. A deadly virus has broken out worldwide, and it's not your typical flu situation. This thing turns people into what they call ferals, basically zombies on steroids. These creatures are faster, stronger, and way smarter than any zombie you've seen before. Abigail's mom is freaking out, talking to her husband, a pilot, on the phone. He's explaining that the situation is completely out of control. Cities are falling left and right. The infected aren't just mindless zombies shuffling around. They're tactical, they hunt in packs, and they remember things. Before hanging up, Abigail's dad tries to lighten the mood. He shows her this little bracelet she made for him and promises he'll keep it safe, that he'll come find them soon. But things go sideways real quick. They rush outside to escape, and the scene that greets them is straight up apocalyptic. Sirens blaring everywhere, people screaming, running for their lives, and ferals swarming through the streets like a tidal wave of death. They make a run for their car, but then, bam! A feral attacks Abigail's mom right in front of her. Within seconds, her mom transforms. Eyes go dark, veins bulging, and she's no longer human. Abigail panics and dives under the car. From underneath, she watches the horror unfold. That same feral attacks and infects her little brother too. Abigail's holding her breath, tears streaming down her face, knowing that one sound could mean her death. The feral moves on, and for a split second she thinks she's safe. Then her own mother, now a monster, spots her and charges. A gunshot rings out. Abigail's mom drops. A man named Cassius just saved her life. He pulls her out gently, holding her while she's shaking and sobbing. But then he notices Abigail staring at something. Her brother, who's turning into a feral. Cassius tells her to cover her ears. He does what has to be done and shoots the boy. In less than 5 minutes, Abigail's entire world was destroyed. Her family's gone. And from that day forward, Cassius becomes everything to her. Father figure, protector, teacher. The movie jumps ahead a decade, and the world is unrecognisable. Silence everywhere. Cities are graveyards. Most humans are either dead or turned into ferals. The few survivors left are hiding in the wilderness because the cities belong to the monsters now. Abigail isn't that scared little girl anymore. Cassius has trained her hard, teaching her to fight, hunt, survive. She's become a warrior. We see them training in the woods when they spot a survivor running from ferals. Cassius decides this is the perfect test for Abigail. He hands her his sniper rifle and tells her to save the man and take out the ferals. She sets up, takes a deep breath like he taught her, aims, and fires. But she misses. The bullet hits the survivor instead of the feral. Cassius is furious. In a world where humans are practically endangered, she just killed one. He goes down himself, finishes off the zombies, and decapitates the dead man before he can turn. Then he starts looting the guy's supplies, even takes his shoes because his own are falling apart. That's when vehicles surround them. A group of armed survivors roll up, and they're not happy. They see Cassius wearing their friend's shoes and assume he's a murderer and a thief. Weapons are drawn, tensions are high, and it looks like this is about to get bloody. But then Megan steps out, a pregnant woman who tries to calm everyone down. She pleads with them, saying they're all survivors here, they need to stick together. Before anyone can make a decision, disaster strikes again. The noise they made attracted a massive horde of ferals. And now zombies are rushing in from every direction, fast, relentless, terrifying. These aren't slow walkers, they're sprinting like Olympic athletes. The survivors try to fight them off, but they're outnumbered and outgunned. Ammunition runs dry, people start getting bitten, infected, turning. When the dust settles, only 4 humans make it out alive. Cassius, Abigail, Megan and her husband David. They jump into a car and floor it out of there. But here's the thing. One of those ferals they just fought, he was the leader of that survivor group before he turned. This alpha feral is smart and he's pissed. He's got Cassius's scent now and he's hell-bent on revenge. He starts tracking them. Cassius asks them where they're trying to go. Megan tells him about the colony, also called Boat Town. It's supposedly an underwater settlement made from connected ships where the last group of human survivors lives. Doctors, facilities, safety, everything they need. Abigail's eyes light up. She's dreamed about living with other people again. But Cassius is sceptical. He's been wandering for years and never seen any human community. Still, Abigail convinces him they should at least drop Megan off safely. Their car breaks down along the way, forcing them to walk. Abigail recognises an area. Her father used to work at an airfield nearby. She suggests they check it out, maybe find a plane. Cassius thinks it's a ridiculous idea. No plane's going to work after 10 years. But they check anyway. Surprisingly, they find a small plane in a garage. It's beat up, but David says he can fix it. While he's working, they suddenly spot a massive horde of ferals heading their way. Hundreds of them, moving fast. Abigail jumps into the pilot's seat, pulling up memories of everything her dad taught her as a kid. She's frantically reading the manual as zombies break through the fence. David and Megan are already inside. Cassius is half in, half out, fighting off a feral trying to drag him down. He shoots it point blank in the head. Abigail gets the engine started. The plane starts moving down the runway. Zombies are literally chasing them, some even grabbing onto the wings and damaging them. But Abigail gets them airborne. They're flying. They actually did it. Relief washes over everyone. They're going to make this journey in hours instead of days. But their celebration doesn't last long. The plane starts smoking. The engine's too old, hasn't been serviced in a decade. It starts failing and the plane goes into a nosedive. Cassius grabs the controls with Abigail and together they manage to crash into some trees, minimising the damage. They survive. Minor injuries, but they're alive. And the good news? They covered most of the distance, only about 2 days of walking left. They decide to spend the night in some abandoned buildings. Cassius sets traps around the perimeter. That night, Megan thanks him for everything. She tells him about how he killed his own wife when she got infected, how he swore after that he'd never fight for anyone again, only for his own survival. But then, he found Abigail, and everything changed. The next day, they come across something strange. A beautiful, clean farmhouse with electricity and growing crops. In this dead world, it looks like paradise. A voice over a speaker tells them to drop their weapons. They comply and go inside. The owner's a scientist. He seems friendly at first, prepares them this amazing meal. They're crying while eating because it's the first real food they've had in years. But then the scientist starts talking weird. He says the virus isn't bad, it's human evolution. The weak die, the strong become ferals, and those ferals should inherit the earth. Everyone starts feeling dizzy. He drugged them. When they wake up, they're tied up. The scientist reveals his true plan. He's been experimenting on zombies. He's got his own zombie wife locked up, and he's created a device that lets him control ferals. His goal? Turn all humans into zombies so he can control them and rule the world. He releases his zombie wife and sends her after them using his device. Cassius kicks her away. Then David breaks free with superhuman strength. And here's the twist. David's been infected this whole time. He's been hiding it, planning to get Megan to safety before ending himself. But the infection's given him temporary strength and he uses it to fight the zombie. They kill the scientist's wife, grab their weapons and supplies and escape in his truck. But the scientist won't let it go. Using his device, he sends an entire horde of zombies after them. David knows he's running out of time. The infection's taking over fast. His veins are darkening, his body's changing. They reach a point where the road's blocked and zombies are closing in from behind. David pulls Megan aside. This is his goodbye. She doesn't want to leave him, but he tells her, "I'm doing this for our baby." Then he sends her away with Cassius and Abigail, turning to face the horde alone. It's a heroic last stand. David fights like a man possessed, giving the others time to escape. They reach the riverbank, and that's when they see it. The colony. It's real, built underwater from massive connected ships. Abigail calls for help. The colony's defenders provide cover fire, picking off the pursuing ferals from a distance. A boat comes to rescue them. They made it. The zombies can't follow them underwater. The colony is incredible. Ships link together, creating a floating city beneath the water's surface. Abigail's experiencing human society for the first time in years. She's having the time of her life. Megan's condition worsens and they rush her to medical. She gives birth to a baby girl. But there's bad news. Megan's losing too much blood and nobody in the colony has her blood type. She's not going to make it. That night, there's a celebration for the new arrivals. Abigail's loving every minute, but Cassius warns her they need to leave soon. She refuses, and they argue. While exploring, Abigail discovers a secret room filled with explosives and a remote detonator. A boy explains it's their emergency plan. If ferals ever attack, everyone escapes through an underground tunnel and they blow up the colony, taking all the zombies with it. What they don't know is they're about to need that plan right now. The mad scientist has tracked them down. He's teamed up with the Alpha Feral, the same revenge-driven leader from the beginning. Using his device, he controls the Alpha, and all the other ferals follow. When the Alpha fearlessly jumps into the water, the other zombies overcome their fear and dive in too, swimming toward the colony. Alarms blare. Chaos erupts. Ferals are breaching the colony from all sides, attacking people. Cassius searches desperately for Abigail and finds her, but they are cut off from the escape tunnel. During the battle, Cassius encounters the scientist. The guy's lost his mind, convinced he's become a god. Cassius is so enraged that he attacks him, smashing the control device against the wall repeatedly until it shatters. The signal's cut out. Now the zombies are attacking everyone, including the scientist. Cassius finds Megan dying, but her baby's still alive. With her last breath, Megan makes him promise to raise her daughter the same way he raised Abigail. Most survivors have already escaped through the tunnel. The boy with the detonator is waiting for Abigail and Cassius, refusing to blow the colony until they're safe. Abigail's fighting her way through when the Alpha Feral appears in front of her. And then she sees it, a bracelet on the zombie's wrist. The same bracelet she made for her father as a child. This Alpha Feral is her dad. She freezes. She doesn't know what to do. He's about to attack her when Cassius appears, snapping her out of it. She realizes the truth. This zombie isn't her father anymore. Cassius is her father now. The man who saved her, raised her, protected her. She shoots the zombie in the head, killing her biological father to save Cassius. They sprint for the tunnel. The moment they're clear, the boy hits the detonator. The entire colony explodes in a massive fireball, incinerating every zombie inside. The ending explained. The survivors regroup on the other side of the river. They spot a small island in the distance, untouched, zombie-free, full of hope. They decide to build a new colony there, a fresh start. Cassius has changed. He used to believe people were a threat, that survival meant staying alone. But after everything, after these people risked their lives for him, after seeing the power of community, he realizes people are actually strength, not weakness. He decides to stay with them, taking Abigail and Megan's baby girl with him. They head toward the island that will become their new home, a place they'll protect from ferals and build a future. The movie ends with a message of hope. Even in the darkest times, humanity can survive if they stick together. My final review and verdict. Alright, let's break this down. Silent Zone is low-key one of the better zombie flicks to come out recently, and here's why. What it does well, the emotional core hits hard. Watching Abigail lose everything in the opening and then grow into this badass survivor is genuinely compelling. Cassius as the reluctant father figure works perfectly. He's not some superhero, just a broken dude trying to do right by this kid. The action sequences are intense, especially that plane escape and the final colony battle. And the twist with her father being the Alpha Feral, that's brutal in the best way. Where it stumbles, some parts feel a bit rushed, especially the scientist subplot. That whole I want to control zombies and rule the world thing is kind of cartoonish compared to the rest of the film's grounded survival tone. Also, David's infection reveal could have been built up better. It kind of comes out of nowhere. Who should watch this? If you're into post-apocalyptic survival stories with real emotional weight, this one's for you. It's not just mindless zombie action. There's actual character development and themes about family, trust, and rebuilding humanity. Fans of The Last of Us 28 Days Later or A Quiet Place will definitely vibe with this. Bottom line, Silent Zone isn't perfect, but it stays in your head long after the credits roll. It reminds us that even when the world falls apart, the connections we make with people are what keep us human. In a genre oversaturated with generic zombie trash, this movie actually has something to say. Final score, 8 out of 10. It's worth your time, no cap. And that's Silent Zone, folks. A movie that starts with a little girl losing everything and ends with her finding a new family and a new world to protect. Sometimes the real survival isn't about outlasting the monsters. It's about holding on to your humanity when everything's trying to take it from you.